Hey guys, Jason7 here, back with another What's News vlog. I got a couple of stories I want to talk about, five in all. But first, I want to talk about this story because it's pretty much an update of what's going on, and it pretty much solidifies just how immature, how ill-advised, and just how stupid this young woman is. And I say young woman for a reason because a lot of people still think she's a child. By law, when you're 18, that child marker gets washed away. I'm referring to the case involving a 19-year-old suing her parents for college tuition after she claims they have thrown her out the house. Now, this led to a huge wave of videos and blogs across the World Wide Web, and a lot of people, pretty much for the better part, have said that she was in the wrong for suing her parents. There are some who felt that the father was being overprotective, over strict, and that led to even more of a rebellious rage towards this teenager, whose name is, by the way, Rachel Cunning. This led to one blog that I'm gonna report that I'm gonna read out to you guys. It's a very simple one that explains the effects of what's going on, what's happening here. But most importantly, I want to read something that the New York Post had posted. This is a Facebook article, as you can see here. This article right here, I'm gonna read this piece here and only this piece because this is pretty much says it all of how immature and how she's not thinking as planned. Because here's the thing. One of the major things that got her to lose the emergency cash case was the fact is that the judge seen how she approached, because she did not approach with the most calm face. She was very upset. She was very steamed. But most importantly, she read the email, and some of the stuff, I think the Post has it right here, that the judge had blasted her. And when you hear it, because I seen it in the news, because they actually did a breaking news on it. The judge basically says that she basically she was disrespectful, that she showed no kindness whatsoever. This is what the judge said. It says here the judge had blasted the child and I'm sorry, the teen, and the obscene mail she have left to her mother. Have you ever seen a young adult show such gross disrespect to a parent in a voicemail? The child thumbs her nose at her parents, leave the house, returns around asking, now you have to pay me money every week. Newsflash. If they see something they can use against you, they're going to use it against you. That was what should have been a sign to say, quiet, don't talk about this case, leave it alone until you go to the next court hearing. But being that she's young and being that she has a knucklehead for a lawyer who doesn't tell her this, we have this situation that she posts on Facebook, which is what she says here. They are spoiled a lot. They make massive amount of money a year. They are used to flying in luxury destinations when they want, and buy things they don't need. I have been stunned by the financial greed of modern parents who are more concerned with retiring into some of their fantasy worlds than provide for their children, college and young adult years. Children are always an accessory to them and nothing more. First off, let me just go right off to say that before I read the other article that's on actually on my monitor. Whether they're rich, whether they're flaunting their money, and I want to put keyword, their money, is really not much of concern to you. Alright? As long as they are giving you a roof on their head, make sure you're being fed, as long as you are ensured you're going to school, whether it's public or private. Some other thing I think people seem to forget here when it comes to this argument, you really have no say how they spend their money. It's their money. They earn their money. They work for their money. It's theirs. And the idea that you're going to try and make it sound like they're the one greedy when it's you suing them for all this amount of money, including $600 a week for allowance, is pretty much insulting. Insulting people's intelligence. I mean, this is not divorce court here. And that's the thing I think she seems to forget. When you leave that house, and I say I feel that she leaves the house because here's the thing that people seem to forget also about this. Keep in mind there's also two other children involved in this situation. And they came out and said, hey, she didn't want to follow the rules. She left. That means you are willing to go on your own and take the burden of living on your own. Hey, I left at the age of 18. Thought I knew everything. Thought I knew how to take care of myself. I ended up back in the shelter at 18. I didn't leave the shelter until 19, and I've been struggling on my own since the age of 20. These are decisions I make. I don't regret some of the decisions I made during that time because some of the stuff I had to leave. But if you're going to leave a situation that you felt uncomfortable with, you can't go back down now and say, give me money. I need to support you. Need to support me. That doesn't work that way. And that's the problem I have with this case here is that she feels that even though she doesn't live in their house, even though she doesn't want to abide by their rules, even though she doesn't feel that she shouldn't even be in talking grounds with their parents, she feels that they still have to provide for her, even though she's no longer there. By the law, she is an adult. Okay. Therefore, once you walk out that door, the responsibility of the parent is not void. So, my thing about this is that I don't think she's going to win. Even, and that's make a correction. When I did the report on my first video on this, it was basically an emergency. It was an emergency situation where the judge will pretty much either grant her emergency funds or not, and the judge didn't. And the fact is that mail that she did, which I don't know why people think they can say what they want to say on the World Wide Web and think they're protected by freedom of speech. It's not. It doesn't protect you from being terminated from a job. It definitely doesn't protect you for your own words that you put on Facebook or on a YouTube video or on any email. It doesn't protect you for being used against you in a court of law. And when that judge said he had read the voicemail, that should have been a sign to say, do not write nothing that can probably incriminate you down the road. Guess what? If the lawyers want to show this right here, if they want to show this, they can. To show just how spoiled she really is. And how much she really is looking to get their money. Because that's exactly what it is. So you ain't making yourself any favor by ranting on Facebook. Facebook is not your friend. In fact, it's becoming your worst enemy right now, because if they use it against you, you can't deny it. It's your own words. And the media is making sure of that, because the media just plastered it right on their own paper. This is page 3 in the Post. Page 7 in the Daily News. So you're getting top billing for this, but it's not in a positive way. Now, you want a person who did a video related to this, a person who was more on the side of the 18-year-old Rachel Cunning, and that's his opinion. I respect it. He brought up some very interesting points that made me think about it. I was thinking about it for a couple of days. He basically said that the father needs to understand that he cannot put rules involving the boyfriend because she's 18, and you know what? I give him that. He's right. I mean, she's 18 now. She has to make it. She has to. The choice that she made between the relationship with this man is going to be between her and that man. You can't really put that as part of the bargain deal of living arrangements. That's not going to fly. I mean, you're only going to make things worse. That I understand. He's also saying that that there is no more curfew once you're 18. I can sort of understand what he's saying, but keep in mind, it's still his house. And if he's going to make rules that will keep his family safe, as well as his daughter safe for that matter, then I can't argue with that. It's his house. And every parent, my parents, my foster parents have said it, every parent I've been in the house have said it, if you can't abide by my rules, then I think it's time for you to go. It's time for you to live on your own. But you're not going to go crazy in my house. You're not going to bring everybody in my house that's going to cause nothing but problems, cause damages to my house. You're not going to run up my electric bill. You're not going to run up my food bills. Keep in mind I say mine. It's not hers. Unless that lease belongs to her, that's not her house. And she's not taking the burden of the bills in that house. They are. And to me, If she walked away from a situation, if she couldn't abide by the rules like two of the other children have said, then guess what? She have agreed to carry the burden of everything that comes to her in the real world, which is bills, rent, expenses, whether it's college, private school, you name it. She walked out that house, all rules are off. All bets are off. So that's why I feel about this. I mean, despite what many people feel that maybe the parent was even overprotected, when we know a lot of parents are overprotected. I'm actually thinking about doing an audio time video on this situation. But there's still the fact of the matter is this: as long as you live in the parents' house, they're gonna make the rules because it's their house. And if she couldn't live with that rule and she chooses to leave, fine. But she has to understand that there is responsibility for living on your own. And to me, she doesn't want to face that responsibility. She still wants her parents to fork in the bill. I'm sorry, that doesn't work that way. This is the real world. Welcome. If you're worried about, finishing up your school, go to public school. It's free. You don't need to go to private school. Private school is an option. Want to go to college? Do what a lot of other people is doing? Take out a loan. I mean, or get a grant. I'm being real. This is the real world. Nobody's going to hand everything to you in the platter. You got to work for it. And that's the thing I don't think she understands, that she has to work for it. Hopefully, this thing can actually resolve itself without any further damage to the family. But the way she's acting, I seriously doubt it. Let me read this article here that Devon Connell have wrote. I'm gonna leave a link below. And it says here, I'm gonna read it. You gotta love New Jersey, because here is a Golden State teenager sued their parents for child support. That's exactly what it is. There's no other way to put it. Yep, you heard that right. 18-year-old Rachel Cunning is suing her parents for child support and a few other things too. Here's the basic gist. Teenager starts fighting with her parents over things kids fight about with their parents: curfew, boyfriends, drinking, etc. The teenager leaves home around her 18th birthday because she refused to follow her parents' rules. Teenager moved in with best friend's family. Best friend's dad is a lawyer and advised teenager legal fees and advanced teenager legal fees so she can sue her parents for child support, high school tuition, and medical expenses. Transportation and college courses. Teenager alleged inappropriate parenting family goes to court. Evidence introduced includes vulgar voicemail teenager leaves for her mother. Judges is horrified. Parents cried. Everyone gets to play this out in a national stage. You see where she's getting at, right? You see where this article is heading. That first line of paragraph I have read, the first lines, and this is a big paragraph, pretty much sums up the stupidity of this case. She's not making herself any better. She's embarrassing her family. She's tearing the whole family apart. All because she doesn't want to follow rules and regulations. It's amazing. Rules, actually. This is not an institution, but you know what I'm getting at. Alright. It's unveiling. I don't know if that's because their parents couldn't manage their child, or because this was an unmanageable, but sometimes something is unmanageable, but something is terribly wrong. No one appears to have gone to the individuals or the families' therapies through both, although both may have been appropriate. A young woman adolescent rebellions will be stoned on the web for every future educational institution. Employees and romantic partners to pursue. it's hard to see how headlines labeling her as a spoiled brat, which they are, which I think that's going a little bit too far, but it's kind of hard to not say that that's a justifiable notion considering what she's actually trying to go after. Are you going to help with HR does with when HR does a background check, someone is going to be paying significant legal bills, and those will likely cut into the money Rachel feels she owes. And that's the thing that when you hear this, I don't think she realized that she still has to pay legal fees, which I understand that was part of the lawsuit that she's doing, but to me, it's still a damaging effect. We don't know how much those legal fees are going to mount up to, so she may have still end up paying for some of that legal fees in the long run anyway. Also, it says she owes. Rachel is a legal adult, but she worries away from being an adult emotionally, psychologically, or financially, and frankly, she's in over her head. Things are being said and memorized in court documents that can never be unsaid or forgotten. A series of parents-child conflicts that are familiar to most parents of teenagers have exploded into a nasty allegations, ultimatum, and engagement. Knowing what I know now, which is, I admit, not the whole story, I'm firmly with the parents on this one. The cutting seems strict, but not that strict. I doubt Rachel would last a week in the army. Really? The parents as parents, they are obligated to set out rules and standards for their home. Let's repeat this again. Their home. Not her home. She doesn't make the rules. They make the rules. They pay the bills. They provide the food and shelter. Their rules, their home. And again, like most parents said, if you don't like living in my house under my rules, it's time for you to go. You're 18 now. You gotta go. Simple as that. They believe they'll give the children the best shot at developing into a healthy, successful relationship. A adult, regardless of whether the children agree to those premises. The fact that Rachel doesn't want to abide by these rules is understandable. She wants to see her boyfriend stay out late, drink, and do what she wants. It's an intoxicating freedom to come and go as you please. Yet if freedom is power or right to act, speak, or think as one wants without hindrance or restraints, they only exist when you are independent and don't require or rely on others for things like financial support. Thank you. This is why I wanted to keep this article. She is 100% right. Freedom is an illusion. It's what you have to maintain that freedom. She doesn't have the resource to maintain the freedom that she wants to use. That's why she's suing. She didn't think this through when she walked out that door. She didn't think about the possibility that once she walked out the door, you better have a job. You better have some kind of way of paying your bills. No, she just walked out the door because she wanted to do what she wanted to do and living with her friends. And I pretty much assure you that that's only going to last for so long before her friend's family say, you got to go. You're costing me money. You got to go. Take that into consideration, and those who especially is looking at this at a young age, at the age of 18 or 19, and you guys are crying about the latest brand of iPhones, or you're upset because your family wants you home at a certain time. Keep that in mind. Unless you have the financial resources to make it out there, by yourself, unless you have your head on straight and understand that it's a doggy dog world and there's a cold world out there, and they will do everything they can to step on you, and you got to be strong to withstand that, especially in the workplace. Then the best bet is don't walk out the door until you're ready. Don't walk out the door until you're ready. Trust me. It's the parents' rules. It ain't that bad when you look at the situation that what you're walking into. She walked into a very cold reality. She did. She walked right into this whole reality, and everybody says she's 18, she can do whatever she wants. Hey, look, I'm sorry. Just because you're 18 doesn't mean you got it right up here. And the way we think when we're 18 years old ain't the same way we think when we're 25 years old or 30 years old. I don't think the same way when I was 18. Now, there's a lot of people who I know have thought the same way at 18. So please keep that in mind. Oh, man. It says here, besides the financial support, medical insurance, or tuition, Rachel doesn't want to be independent. She likes her parents to get her off her back and leave her alone, except when it comes to paying for everything. If you said you want to be independent, you don't want to follow the rules and everything else, then fine. Then why are you calling me for something then? Why are you calling me for money? You said you wanted to live on your own. Come on. My family went through the same thing, by the way. All this stuff, cursing my family out, all that other crap that my nieces and nephews have pulled. But when it push came to shove, they needed something. They expect my sister to pay. Come on. It's a classic adolescent struggle in most families. It resolves after some trying times and forces parents and children to sit down around the kitchen table, which most parents don't do these days, and on the living room couch, and sometimes in therapeutic offices, to figure out what went wrong and how to fix it. Connie unfortunately can't do this, and that is the real tragedy here. Connie doesn't have to sit down with her family or work things out because of her best friend's family has charged charged a dynamite, and not in a good way, by allowing Rachel to live with them indefinitely and advising her money and advancing her money and legal bills. So this is the thing that really is a very true statement here. This is a very, very telling statement, because as long as she has something coming in, she doesn't have to sit down, she doesn't have to think things through. To her, she is right, and these family members here are pushing her to do this. These friends, family members, I don't get it. And it also said perhaps encouraging her to sue in the first place. Whether these people are undermining Rachel's parents' ability to resolve things with their daughter and empower a young woman to appear unprepared for the level of responsibility she claims she wants. I like to think the family members just wanted to help their daughter friend when she was fighting with her parents. However, there is a line between helping and inappropriately insetting yourself into a family conflict, and this family friend crossed that line a long time ago. Unless this family friends believe that Lyndon is being emotionally and physically abused or neglected, and at which point they should have notified the authorities. There you go. I don't even think I need to read any further than that, but I will. But that's the whole problem I have with this. In the case here, when I was reading the articles, when this thing broke out, the first thing they said that she was being physically and emotionally abused. Yet, there have not been any documentational papers. If this family member's friend, this friend of whoever this person is, have actually uh, since this was happening, why did you not call the police? Why haven't it been records? There's actually been records, but there's actually been record of the teenager who at 15 at the time actually was drunk. So again, I asked the question. You didn't seem that concerned about a 15-year-old getting drunk and where you got the alcohol from, but for some reason, when a family strict rules come into play, all of a sudden there's a problem. I'm just curious on how that works. They have no place in this dispute with her parents. They have no problem if they had listened sympathetically, offered Rachel a bed for the night after letting her parents know where she was, and told her she was away and welcome into their home. But in the very next breath, they could have told her that she needed to go back home and work things out with her parents. Nothing more, nothing less. Okay, this is the last paragraph. It's a very long one, but I'm going to read it anyway. It's first and foremost a matter of respect for the Cunnings, and every other parent struggles with rebellious teens. Families deserve the opportunity to muddle through crisis together. It's how children and parents learn respect and compromise, and presentive on how to navigate conflicts. Slam doors and frustration and the occasional I hate you are part of the parallels of that process. We don't want our kids to run away when things get hard. Otherwise, they'll spend a lifetime spinning away from challenges. But ultimately more than just giving parents the benefit of a doubt and not seducing our own values of judgment for theirs. Refusing to try and resolve someone else's problem is also a matter of self-interest. If I give someone else's kid an escape hatch when things get tough, I will turn around and give my son a crash pad when we have an argument. Will I come home one day and find myself in the receiving end of court papers when my kid wants a iPhone? Is a slippery slope and not one I ever want to be on. I wonder if this family thought about this when they turned themselves into a long-term hotel for their daughter's friend. Here's hoping they never have to find out. And that's in a nutshell here. That just pretty much says it in a nutshell. That's actually the best I can actually come up with it. She broke it down perfectly. She broke it down just the way it's supposed to be broken down. This is the problem, right in a nutshell. We have someone who is getting into this young girl who's 19 years old, doesn't know any better, who thinks because she's an adult she can do whatever the hell she wants, and without any dire consequence or responsibility for her actions. And we have a situation where A, it's being brought in the media and not in a good light, and B, keeping it real, she's the one that's actually looking worse than anybody in this whole case. She hasn't learned from what the judge had told her, and she's still posting stuff up there that can actually incriminate herself. Again, I don't think this is going to go any farther. I don't think it's going to go anywhere higher than the judge seeing her and basically saying no. Again, there is no rule that says that the parents have to pay for college tuition or have to pay for any tuition. If I have anything to say, they may have to pay the rest of the bill because they probably did stop it and probably didn't tell the school they were stopping it, so the school, they ran up a bill that they shouldn't have run up. But I don't see them going any further than that. I don't. And look, I don't understand that some people say she's an adult, she's supposed to be doing this, but trust me, just because you're 18 doesn't mean you're ready. Doesn't mean you're ready. She's not ready. He left a situation without any kind of plan. She's not working. She's basically staying. She's being sheltered by these people. And unless she does have that plan, which it doesn't sound like she does, she's just going to be in trouble. She's going to be in serious trouble. Because I'm being honest, how long do you think that's gonna? How long do you think her staying in that house is gonna last long? I don't think it's gonna. I don't think so. I don't think she's gonna last long in that house. I really don't. Now let her do whatever else she wants, but you know what? You're setting up for her to take a very nasty fall. And then what? Can't blame parents for that. We make choices. We gotta learn that there's the consequences, whether positive or negative, in our choices. And part 1. I'll be back with the rest of the story in part 2. Until then, J77 saying take care.